The agents investigate religious documents and a bomb exploding at a local church. Their work is hindered by Skinner forcing them to escort his college buddy, Wayne Fetterman, around.
All so he can understand the agents and the case for a film he's writing.
This is not happening.
Your best intros, but it'll work. I'm sure you can make it work.
I think it works. I mean, it's a weird episode to kind of sum up in one little quick blurb.
That is totally true. And speaking of weird, I have a question for you about the title of this episode, Hollywood AD, the episode we're going to be talking about tonight.
Ooh.
What do you think the AD stands for?
I mean, I always assumed after death.
Not
That's
assistant director, associate director.
I mean, I think Mulder wants you, David Duchovny wants you to maybe think about it a little bit because it's a very, very self-referential episode. Like, it's very meta, and he pokes fun at Hollywood and kind of the state of the show as a whole. I think it could be AD Skinner, but
could be.
I think it stands for after death.
It could be Anderson Duchovny.
Could be.
A little Easter egg, given they thought they were going out with a bang at this point. And we've said that a lot, or at least I have brought that up pretty much in every episode we've been reviewing for the last couple of weeks. But
yes,
this idea that they think they're on the outs. So my question is, we're nearing the end. And when did they...
3 episodes left.
When did they get the nod that they were going to go into a season 8?
That's a tough question because, I mean, Duchovny announced his departure before the season started. So Chris Carter had to really kind of come up with a way to either close out the series. I mean, I think it was his choice. Because I don't think the studio was pulling the plug. I think everyone was, we don't want the X-Files to go away. This is a cash cow for Fox. Let's keep it going somehow. I don't have the exact answer.
Oh, it may be there's no answer. It may just be that's just how it played out. But clearly, they came up with the idea. The next reinvention of the X-Files was going to be how to continue the show without Mulder, which is... necessity is the mother of invention. So the necessity here was you've got one less major lead. What are you going to do about it?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I just AI'd it because I Googled it. When did X-Files decide on season 8? The decision on X-Files to have season 8 was made after the 7th season, Requiem, the finale, which was written as a potential series ender.
Oh my.
I cannot believe they were going to end on that note.
Woof. That would have been a whiff.
Scully getting pregnant? That has to be wrong. There's no fucking way. They left that cliffhanger. No way. I don't believe it. Sorry, AI.
Yeah, I think we can pass on AI for that one. But as far as this episode goes, so I think the real answer is we'll never really know until we get Chris Carter on the show and pitch it to him. But
I have a feeling this line of conversation is poking its head into my final thoughts.
Excellent. All right. Well,
But, I mean, you're free to talk about it.
We will table it until then and focus inward on Hollywood AD, 19th episode of season 7. And, this is... interesting.
Written and directed by DD, man.
This is his very own baby, yeah. I mean, he's written episodes before up till now, but I don't think he's directed anything.
He wrote The Unnatural in season 6.
I don't think he directed it, though.
I can't remember if he directed that one, honestly. But yeah, he has dabbled in writing several times throughout the show. And it's gotten better each time, I think. I think he's kind of... Oh, that was also directed by David Duchovny.
Which one? Oh, The Unnatural? So he wrote and directed that one as well.
Yeah.
I did not remember
So
that.
he was much more interested, I think, in writing and directing more so than Jillian. It had been pitched to her before, but then she finally decided why not in season 7. And she came out with All Things. But yeah, David Duchovny he was more... in the writer's seat than she was, especially on mythology. He definitely guided Mulder's character a little bit more, starting with season 2.
Yeah.
And he has a couple writing credits solely to his name, which would be The Unnatural, and this episode, Hollywood AD. And I gotta say, kudos to David Duchovny. This episode, I'll just jump into this. I think it displays a lot of his intelligence. He's very well read, and he touches on so many things in this episode, like pop culture and music and baseball, just a wide variety, religion. It's very intelligent writing, I think.
I will say that the individual moments themselves are well put together. I share your enthusiasm for what's presented. I think, though, that there are the connective tissue between some scenes, it's pretty weak. Like there are some bits that happen in this episode that I scratch my head at, and frankly, I'm not going to spoil it by saying the resurrection of Micah Hoffman makes zero sense to me. And
that was a little strange.
And they don't explain it. I mean, it's this pivotal moment in the episode that they walk right away from.
It's not supposed to be explained. Just like Jesus. You just got to go on faith. You got to take it on faith that it actually happened.
Because we love those religiously themed, faith-based episodes. So, good one, David Duchovny. Yeah, but other notable bits for this episode are the appearance of Gary Shandling and Tay Leone.
Oh, my God.
Just scene stealers, those two, for this one.
Absolutely. They're in it so little, but you want to be with them more every time they're on screen. It's like, this is fantastic.
Famously, Gary Shandling considered for a previous role on The X-Files, which went instead to, what's his face, for the Dreamland 1 and 2. Yeah, no. The Dreamland 1 and 2 guy. His name.
Michael McKean.
Michael McKean, exactly. So they went with him, and I think Michael McKean's a great choice, but Gary Shandling would have been a pretty great Man in Black in that situation too.
It would have been a completely different episode. Even in this episode, Gary Shandling doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
No.
He plays this awkward Gary Shandling. That's his bit. That's what he does. He's a very funny, awkward physical comic, and he plays that to great effect in this episode. So imagining him in Dreamland 1 and 2 would be a highly different couple episodes.
It would have been different. I'm not sure whether it would be better because I'm not sure how I felt about that episode. Well, actually, I think I am sure how I felt about that episode.
You made it very clear how you felt about those episodes.
Moving on, Tay Leone, of course, married to David Duchovny at this point in his life, and he throws in some good gags about it, like as if Tay Leone would be interested in me. So yuck, nicely done. And thanks to their parts in this episode, it's worth noting David Duchovny's hired several of his family members and friends to be part of the cast and crew. And because they were part of it, they were able to apply for Screen Actors Guild cards, and they were then eligible for health insurance. What a nice guy, that David Duchovny.
He's a very humanitarian man. I do appreciate his things he does outside of Hollywood, especially now. He's very charitable.
And again, that kind of generosity reminds me of the season finale of The Big Bang Theory, apparently. Actually, I should say the last season of it. The leads there were not going to do it. They weren't interested in doing it. But they did do it because the supporting cast, they were just sort of getting their stride. So they kind of kept on it for them, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure all those Big Bang Theory fans were just cool with having another season. But yeah, here we are. Same deal. X-Files looks like it's heading out, and Dave Duchovny is like, well, I'm going to use my limited clout
pull
as much as I can right now.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but at the same time, if I had to guess, at the same time this episode was being shot or written, he had to have been doing Return to Me, that movie with Minnie Driver, and she's in the audience at the beginning of the movie, just watching the movie.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if he's like, hey, join me for this X-Files thing I'm doing. Just a quick little nothing roll. You don't get to say anything. You're on screen for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
whatever.
she's right beside Chris Carter on one side, and then there's another actor that...
David Allen Greer.
yeah, exactly. So there's a nice little pass for all those characters. Very smart.
Absolutely. Very smart. Well, I'm ready to get into it.
I am
1, because
too.
it's a fun episode, and 2, because I'm sure, as our lovely listeners noticed, Mike is under the weather.
Oh,
And I had to cancel last night because, did not feel well. So
full of snot.
I'm still full of snot.
Well, just try.
I'm going to try to do some clever muting.
Try not to get any on the
And-
microphone.
Yes.
I have already
What?
Purelled my hands, so I'm ready.
Thank you. Yes. Please forgive any unnecessary coughing or sneezing.
Well, you are
And
editing.
I will do
this,
my
so
best.
You could remove all that in post. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? It depends on how bad it gets. Because you know what? It's now Wednesday. Tomorrow's a holiday. And I work Friday and Saturday. So we'll have to see what happens.
I'm excited to hear what comes out on. When everybody's hearing this, you'll be excited just like me. So yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing, as they say.
All right. We open on a misty graveyard. An agent jumps and rolls behind the cover of a tombstone as gunshots ricochet around him. His arm arches over the top, pistol firing blindly into the night at his attackers. As the gunfire continues, he realizes he's out of bullets. Removing the clip from his firearm, a voice calls out to him to give it up, Mulder, and the camera pans up to the agent's face, only to reveal Gary Shandling. The cigarette-smoking pontiff, in charge of a horde of sniper zombies, commands them to train their rifles on Mulder's headstone. The most capable zombies ever to grace the silver screen hold their sniper rifles from a safe distance and aim at the stone, red beams in the mist. The pontiff offers a deal. Give him the Lazarus Bowl and he'll give over Scully, who is then revealed to be a red wig-wearing Téa Leoni, who shouts for her partner. Fake Mulder shouts back with a pithy threat that if he doesn't let Scully go, he'll break the bowl and will shove the pieces where the Son of God don't shine. With that, the agent stands and holds the Lazarus Bowl high above him to make good on his threat. But the evil Pope isn't swayed. He knows the importance of the bowl to Mulder and his work. Hidden in the ancient grooves of the bowl are the words Jesus spoke to raise the dead, which are still capable of raising the dead. He could no more destroy the bowl than let the redhead die. Confronted with a choice, Mulder takes a moment as a gentle zombie approaches to appeal to his heart. Don't break the bowl. They don't want to go back to being dead. There's no women, no dancing. Save it, and they'll dump the pontiff for Mulder, who will be the king of the dead. But the agent's goodness cannot be penetrated. He'd rather serve in heaven than rule in hell. With an exerted toss, Mulder throws the bowl high into the air, making his move. Everyone looks to the bowl, including the Pope, whose distraction allows Scully to pull her gun and hold him at bay. In slow motion, the zombies scramble to save the bowl as Mulder darts for Scully. She shoots a zombie as he heads for it. Mulder tackles Scully to safety, and the two of them roll down a misty hill into an open grave where the casket shuts on top of them. In the darkness, Mulder lies on Scully.
Is that your flashlight, Mulder?
Some slight chuckles are heard, and Mulder's answer seals the deal to a crowd of happy moviegoers viewing the agent on a large screen. It's all a movie, ladies and gentlemen. The camera does a slow pan of the audience, revealing, among others, Chris Carter, David Allen Greer, Minnie Driver, the two stars of the film, Wayne Fetterman, and our agents. The real agents look horrified, staring wide-eyed at the screen. Mulder puts his face in his hands to the background sounds of the agents breathing heavily on screen. Skinner smiles at him as the two on screen make out furiously in the coffin. Credits.
Whoa! Now that is an opening.
That's an opening.
If we rewind the tape, though, does Téa Leoni shoot the bowl? I thought maybe she did shoot the zombie.
I thought she did for the longest time, but she does aim at a zombie. You see like a little puff as he's diving. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did think she shattered it to kind of, that would have been cooler, but
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but
doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
The movie's supposed to be terrible.
It
So
is,
whatever.
and it is indeed quite terrible. But yeah, a high-end production value on this scene. And I think the favorite part for me is the cigarette smoking pontiff. It's so ridiculous. Yes. His costume is just so ridiculous. But yeah, perfect for that scene.
He just wears that all day, every day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's a special occasion when you raise the dead. And also the exposition, right? Like at this point, we need to know the Lazarus Bowl has raised the dead. I mean, clearly he has used the Lazarus Bowl to raise up all these sniper zombies.
Right.
But yeah, excellent.
I just love how capable they are.
Oh, yeah.
The most capable, as I mentioned, I've ever seen a zombie.
Well, and the setup is there, right? The idea of the zombies begging to be allowed to live and dance. That's the setting up the through line for the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So did you enjoy this opening when you were first-time viewer, Andrew?
Absolutely. And the reaction of the agents watching it is perfect. The other Easter egg, of course, is no ifs, ands, or bees from Tail Yummy. A nice fan service moment there.
Absolutely. 18 months earlier, in Skinner's office, he briefs Mulder and Scully on a church bombing. No casualties, thefts, demands, or notes. Nobody's taking credit for it. From the back of the office, a man makes a verbal note. She, Jodie Foster's foster child on a Payless budget. He, a Jehovah's Witness, meets Harrison Ford's witness. Wayne Fetterman is in the office listening in and making audio notes into his recorder as the meeting goes on. The agents are distracted, Mulder especially, but the meeting continues. It was Cardinal O'Fallon's church. He's one of the most powerful men in the church today, in line to become the first American pope. Though agitated, Mulder continues pushing through the conversation. He doesn't want to be myopic, but he thinks this is a case for the ATF. Another verbal note from Fetterman as the ringing continues. Mulder can't take it anymore and turns to Wayne. Are you going to answer your phone? He obliges, stating he didn't want to be rude. As he answers the phone, a pissed-off Mulder turns to his boss and asks who he is. Skinner introduces him as an old college buddy. Wayne chimes in from his cell phone, a writer-producer. Mulder, not having any of it, calls him a hindrance/pain in the neck. This catches Fetterman, who clarifies, I don't want to eat your lunch. I'm just here for some procedural flavor, just a taste. The Skin Man has filled me in on your particular bent, and Mulder looks to Skinner, confused. Skin Man? He's here for the X-Files. He wants to know how Scully and Mulder work together, the kinds of cases they investigate, hoping to influence the story he's writing. Skinner then informs Mulder Fetterman will be accompanying him on his case and that he's to extend every protection and courtesy a friend of the Bureau's requires. Scully, though, is to remain behind to work on something else for the morning.
And that is it's really quite laden, that moment, eh? Where he's like, Scully, I'll need you here with me doing some other work.
Well, they definitely lay it on with Fetterman kind of eyeing Skinner and smiling. He's got his head in the gutter, of course.
Do you think that the Skin Man and the Fetterman were part of the same fraternity? You think they were frat brothers?
Here's my problem. And it's not a problem, but it's just hard for me to imagine Skinner in college having like a school buddy. Because he's just such a standoffish person, and I understand he's been through a lot. But when he introduces...
I'm trying to relegate it with his service in Vietnam.
Well, he said college buddy. I don't know. I mean...
College when he got back from Vietnam, I guess? That make came back in the GI Bill?
Well, Skinner went when he was 18.
Yeah.
Skinner said he enlisted when he was 18. So yeah, he must have gotten back and pursued law enforcement. And this was the guy he roomed with.
No. Frat brother, I think.
Frat bro.
It makes the power of friendship, the bond they have, more obvious.
Oh, absolutely. Many a toga party. Well, Mulder and Fetterman pull up to Christ's Church. Inside, O'Fallon guides them through it and eventually down into the crypts where the bomb exploded.
Cardinal O'Fallon, can you think of anyone who might make an attempt on your life?
Church always has enemies, Agent Mulder.
The size of the bomb would have limited its destruction to just the crypt itself. Is there anything down there worth targeting?
Not really. Just some old bones, artifacts, relics, documents that we store down there in the cold. We like to think of it as God's refrigerator.
That's a great line.
Thank you.
God's refrigerator.
Wait, shut up.
No treasures to the outside world. Things negligible monetary value, but great spiritual value to the church. Ancient devotional texts, medieval relics.
How about the Shroud of Turin?
No, afraid not. But we do have the bathrobe of St. Peter.
You're kidding.
Yes, I am.
That's a good line.
Thank you.
Wait. Shut up. Who comes down to the crypt here?
Only myself. A half a mile of catacombs here. I like to walk here during lunch. That's where the bomb went off.
Well, my instinct, Cardinal, is to see this desecration of the dead less as a murder attempt and more as a terrorist act, a message.
Mulder looks annoyed as Wayne checks his phone, but it's not his, surprisingly. He points to Mulder, who then checks his. Nope. Then O'Fallon does as well. Nothing. The ringing continues as Mulder turns towards the crypt floor and a bunch of crumbled rocks. He slowly begins moving them to reveal a dead body and a cell phone. Micah Hoffman's name is on the screen of the phone. Oh my God.
Oh my. So, Mike, would you say, with your medical history and background, would you opine that Micah Hoffman is dead in this moment?
That's what they want us to believe.
That is what they want us to think. And the other aspect of this scene that, of course, we have to note is this is, again, Mulder pulling back to open up graves with his hands. He just cannot help himself. There will be no forensic evidence here. Mulder.
Well, I think the worst part is that he touched the phone. Moving the rocks, I think, is okay if you need to discover. He hasn't discovered anything until he moves the rocks. So
throw on those gloves, man.
I'll give him a pass on that. But yes, once he touches the phone, then it's bad boy.
Yeah, he is a bad boy for sure.
Well, we cut, and Scully has joined them, and the three walk down the street to discuss the case and who Micah Hoffman was. Mulder states he, Willie Mays, and Frank Serpico are his holy trinity. Hoffman was a campus radical. Name a 60s counterculture movement, and Hoffman was at or near the center of it. The first Yippie. Fetterman recalls how he went low profile in the 70s after Altamont. When they arrive at an apartment, Mulder begins picking the lock and asks Scully why she was kept behind. Oh, just paperwork. Fetterman again smirks. When they get in, they look around. It's an empty studio in disarray. It's more of a warehouse with crude paintings all over and, unfortunately, a bomb-making station. It would appear he was killed by one of his own creations. Scully moves on. Mulder notes he was a master potter, and it appears he was a master calligrapher as well. They look at an easel, and on it looks like an ancient text in Greek. It's religious, some kind of lost gospel. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene, and the account of Christ's life after the resurrection. Mulder's confused. After? It's heretical, mythical to be clear, she says, but long rumored to be in existence. Why would Hoffman have heretical religious texts, he asks. She clarifies, the question is, why would Hoffman be forging them? And Fetterman can't take it anymore. He chimes in, the real question is, what would O'Fallon be doing with Hoffman's forgeries?
Oh, he's
just
smart.
some back and forth.
He's a smart boy, that Fetterman. And of course, Scully can read Greek, but it's a little rusty.
Yeah.
And let's not overlook the casual B&E on Mulder's part.
Right. Well, yeah, of course.
Of course.
I mean, that's his MO.
That's his MO.
What they do.
And Mike.
She just throws it in there like because she feels she needs to say it.
Yeah.
Because someone else is there, because saying it otherwise doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we're not always like this. Mike, with your great religious background and history, would you opine that maybe there could have been an actual Gospel of Mary?
I wouldn't say it's any less believable. I mean, obviously, something like this would be extremely damning to the church and the Bible itself, but I would imagine there's a possibility of something like this being out there. That being said, I'm not necessarily a believer that there is something in there.
It's not your thing.
I mean, anything to take down the church.
Okay. You heard it here first. The Anti-Catholic Podcast. I hope you're all enjoying it so far.
I'll cut that. Don't fuck with me. I'm sick.
Oh, that's what we're blaming this on. Okay.
Yeah. Back in the crypt, Fetterman and Mulder look around with their flashlights. Deep inside, Fetterman tries to make small talk, but Mulder simply ignores him. They come to some documents further in. They appear to be more of the forgeries Hoffman created in some rubble. Fetterman has some trouble figuring out the origins of them, and Mulder clarifies. There is no real Gospel of Mary. The real would be a fake. Fetterman's phone rings, frightening Mulder and breaking up the pointless conversation.
And had a little musical sting there, and a little bing. Don't ignore that. That's the little hallmark of the kind of episode we're watching.
Absolutely. He walks off alone into the crypt, trying to get reception, leaving the agent to view the documents. As Fetterman walks through the catacombs, a skull slides out of his way, unseen. He enters another chamber and turns on the web-ridden overhead light. As he hangs up the phone, we see bones moving around the floor in the background. The skittering catches his attention, and he turns to witness something unbelievable. Several bones dancing across the floor in various directions. He watches in awe, dropping his flashlight. A skull and hand bones play with the light as others try to assemble a broken clay dish on a small rocky outcropping. Oh my God. Now this, I would say, is the most blatant use of CGI the show has ever done. What do you think?
It's not. It's not stop motion.
No,
it wants to be stop motion. That's what it's emulating. But it's definitely not. Well, my problem is not
stop motion.
Yeah, my problem is not with the technique. I mean, I get.
I'm not opposed. I was just saying that it's they linger on it. It is the scene. They're
100%
utilizing CGI to make the scene. It's very obvious. And I was just saying this is probably the one and only time they really utilize it to some notice. You know, I mean, a lot of times it's in the background or it's something quick. They linger on it for 30 seconds, that kind of thing.
It was probably quite expensive to do in 2000.
But
my question would be, what is the value and purpose of this scene? Like, it's I suppose, designed to introduce us to the bowl, the fragments of the bowl, and suggest that the bowl has this power. But
I think so. I think it's...
My issue is going to be, what is the power and you know, what are its extents? Because those are going to change.
Do you have a problem with the Lazarus Bowl, sir?
Well, I do. Absolutely.
Oh,
I do.
Man. God. You can't even let a clay dish get by.
If it was stop motion, I'd probably be all right with it. But it's blatantly CGI. I mean, I just can't let that pass. So.
All right. Well.
Wait, what do you think the scene is about? I've expressed my displeasure, but you defend it. What do you think is...
I think it is... It's important because it's part of the story. So, in the case, there's no mention of the Lazarus Bowl. Yes, there was the beginning, but that's...
it doesn't matter now. It's 18 months prior. Yeah.
Yeah. It had to get our attention to the bowl.
Right.
Because that's the main thrust of the story. It's about this bowl being able to raise the dead. I think the dancing and cutesy little CGI moment where the skulls and the hands are trying to put it back together is just a way to get our attention to this object.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were interested in it, which gives Mulder and Scully a reason to look at this object.
Okay. Worth noting also, Micah Hoffman's already been referenced as a master potter. So
yes,
I think the illusion is that this is a bowl that he has made and left.
Yes,
as a fake. In addition to all the documents,
and that will be revealed later. Yeah, essentially. I mean, those are the lines you have to draw by the end of the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right, I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, we come back to Mulder walking his fingers across the diner table to his coffee mug. Fetterman has relayed his experience to the agents who are trying to talk him down. Scully tries to reason with him. The case has obviously influenced his thinking. The darkness of the crypt and his eyes were playing tricks on him. He simply hallucinated the whole episode of Bones trying to assemble the bowl. The man refuses to believe that. It was real or it was CGI. Mulder laughs. This is real life. But Wayne fails to see the difference. Putting a capper on the conversation, he's seen enough. He's going to leave and write his movie. They're a little surprised he doesn't want to get to the bottom of what happened, but he simply says fiction is quicker than truth and often cheaper. He leaves the two agents with two thoughts. Pointing at Mulder, he says, "You're crazy for believing what you believe," and then to Scully, "You're crazy for not believing what he believes." Fetterman leaves, and Mulder can barely contain his excitement. This whole thing has Scully thinking of an old story the sister told her class in Catholic school.
Fetterman's BSing you, so I'm really hesitant to mention this. But his story reminds me of the Lazarus Bowl.
The Lazarus Bowl?
We had this wacky nun in Catholic school, Sister Callahan. We used to call her Sister Spooky because she would tell us scary stories all the time.
Twisted sister. It's my kind of nun, you know.
Well, she would hold up an old piece of wood with a rusty nail in it, and she would say, "This is an actual piece of the cross that Christ's wrist was nailed to." Or she'd show us a vial of red liquid and say that it was John the Baptist's blood or something.
She'd be in prison today, you realize that.
Well, she would tell the story of when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, and she said that there was this old woman who was Lazarus's aunt or something.
Lazarus's aunt?
Who was spinning a clay bowl on a wheel nearby, and that Christ's words, the actual incantation to raise the dead, were recorded in the clay grooves of the pottery, just like the way music is recorded into vinyl.
You see, it's just not true that you can't get good science at Catholic school. It's a lie.
Well, Sister Spooky says that these words in the clay still have the power to raise the dead, just like Jesus raised Lazarus.
That is a very cool story coming from you, Scully. I'll have Chuck Burks meet you over at my office, see if this clay has Christ's greatest hits on it, and I'm gonna go have another audience with Cardinal O'Fallon.
We cut to a shallow clay bowl cracked in three. Blue lights surrounding it in classic Chuck Burks test. Static is coming through his headphones. There's music in the air. Everything that exists vibrates and therefore sings, he says. Even the most mundane things generate sound, things we hear but we don't know we hear. He waves his wand over the bowl, attempting to pick up the bowl's vibrations. A graphic on screen shows the changes in frequencies from his voice and the noise of the room. Suddenly, he sits up, deadly focused. He takes off his headphones and opens one of the cups for Scully to hear. An ethereal tone comes through. When Burks asks who made this, she gives the honest answer, either a forger by the name of Micah Hoffman or someone in the vicinity of Jesus Christ. He chuckles, but then sees the seriousness in her eyes. Whoever did it, he continues, is a musical genius. It's vibrating in all the keys at once, producing a very heavenly tone.
Yeah, I don't believe that's possible.
Vibrating in all the keys at once?
Yeah, I think if something was vibrating in all the keys at once, it would probably explode. But I guess this is a magic totem of some kind.
For the love of God, Andrew. This is Fantasyland, all right? We have to accept we are, count it, almost completely 7 seasons in, 7 years.
I know, and it's the hill I refuse to die on.
That this could possibly happen in this universe.
My problem is that there's enough doubt laid into it already. With Micah being the master potter, like they've given us out to the story. If this was a bowl they dug up from a secret crypt or something, and there's no extenuating circumstance, and the through line of the plot is about using the bowl to raise the dead, then I could get there. But it's again, this major thing that's being introduced in the plot, parachuted in, if you will, and it's pretty much going to have no consequence. Like
now, when you say parachuted in,
mm-hmm.
The whole story is about this bowl.
No, it is not. It's not about the bowl at all. It's about Micah Hoffman is what it is. And
no, I get it, but
yeah.
Andrew, you use parachuted in when in the middle of the episode Mulder has a friend who makes clay bowls and can also do the same thing out of nowhere.
It's true. And he calls up his clay bowl making friend for some context. Yeah.
This is actually part of the show. Like, this is part of the episode. You can't say he's parachuted in.
I contend with this bowl. I'm going to say it's one of the weaker parts of the episode, to be fair. It's
Okay.
on par with my love affair of elements that they introduced that would probably have a team of scientists roll in, and it would be.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to preempt you. The water draining backwards.
Exactly. You've nailed it perfectly. But it is going to have zero consequence for the plot as it goes on.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where it would work for me. If the bowl was in the room when Scully is doing her autopsy, and that is what has her vision of Micah being resurrected, at least then we've got some connection. But after we're done with this scene with Chuck, it'll never come up again. We'll never see the bowl again, or it'll have no impact on the plot again. So this is kind of the first symptom of David Duchovny writing these exceptional scenes. They are very cool, but they don't really land with the overall plot for me. And it's my opinion.
Okay.
I'm glad that you enjoy it.
I give you.
Yeah.
I just give you crap, Andrew.
Yeah, I know.
We all love it.
I know.
It would not be an X-Files episode if you enjoyed it. So, back in the church. It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support. Mulder shows O'Fallon the forgeries and asks him to read it. Gently, he reads aloud the writing depicting Jesus and Mary Magdalene, which my autocorrect has corrected to Marty Magdalene, embracing in premarital sex.
The rest of the episode, it has to be Marty Magdalene.
Marty Magdalene and Jesus getting it on. Mulder places more in front of him, rough drafts. They're all forgeries. It turns out O'Fallon purchased the documents in order to hide them. The Jesus in these texts was not the Jesus O'Fallon loved. He wanted to spare the world from feeling the despair and anger he felt. Protecting people from something they obviously didn't need protecting from. Although he hated the documents, he couldn't destroy them because he thought they were real. In Mulder's office, the agents speak on the phone. He asks her to do the Hoffman autopsy. Maybe O'Fallon retaliated and Hoffman was dead before he died. Scully examines a piece of the bowl at his desk and changes the subject, almost in a trance. Burke says the bowl has properties he's never seen before. Mulder gets another call. It's Fetterman, driving in the California sun in a convertible. He's calling to get Mulder's idea of who would play him in the movie. Mulder's obviously flattered he's in the movie, but it's not exactly him, it's more of an amalgamation. He throws out Richard Gere, and Fetterman laughs. It's here he reveals that none other than Gary Shandling has signed on to be Mulder and Téa Leoni as Scully.
Perfect casting.
Mulder's at a loss for words. Very good. He's calling the movie The Lazarus Bull, obviously getting case details from Skinner. The actors want to get Mulder and Scully down to Hollywood to meet them, get their flavor, and the studio will pay for it. Before the call ends, Mulder has to ask, who's playing Skinner? Fetterman lets it out, Richard Gere. And Mulder hits a pothole, emphasizing the shock to his system of what he's just heard.
Apparently that's a bit of an in-joke. They've in the past talked about who would play Mulder in the movie, and they joked that it would be Richard Gere. So look at you, David Duchovny, bringing in a little bit of life. I wanted to bring up something, and I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Damn it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I wanted to note the excellent actor playing Father or Cardinal O'Fallon.
Oh, yeah.
Harris Yulin. you've seen him before, but
absolutely.
He is just excellent for this part. He's doing very
Angry Judge from Ghostbusters too. If I'm not
That's
mistaken.
right. Yeah, look at you with your dropping of the names.
I mean, I have to do it. After season 5, they really don't bring back actors.
It's true, man. They're not in Vancouver anymore, so they got to draw from a different pool.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I just also wanted to touch on a couple of things. I do like Chuck Burke. Anytime he shows up, it sort of automatically elevates the episode, much in the way Lone Gunman does. And I do like his technical work with the sound investigation, like seeing the waveform of this background sound and what the bowl does. It's a good example of letting pictures tell a story as opposed to just explaining it. And he does kind of extend it a little bit with this element of, here's the background noise, the stuff you don't hear. Mulder's pouring tapes on pause. Those little jokes are good. But it does, I like how it shows us the unseen or the unheard in this case. The things we take for granted actually do exist. And I think that is a very subtle way for Duchovny to make a point here. And I do love that kind of storytelling where it's not just the writer tells you something, literally tells you what the story is. In this case, we are seeing it. And I think that's good stuff.
Yes.
So don't hate this episode. I'm going to give it props where it deserves them. And that's one.
Absolutely. You were talking about, you wanted to give a shout out to that actor. One thing I forgot to mention, the tombstone that Gary Shandling hides behind in the beginning has the name Alan Smithy on it.
Oh yeah.
And that's a Hollywood in joke.
Yes.
Basically, when a director no longer wants to be attached to a project, that's the name they use.
Yes.
So that's actually pretty clever. I like that.
I wonder how many episodes or how many things have been directed by
Alan Smithy.
Alan Smithy. You keep on going and I'll throw that at the old Google machine.
All right. Well, Scully's performing the autopsy on Hoffman, giving notes as she places the heart in the scale. Suddenly, the body behind her sits up, Y incision and all, and hops off the table. He shakes it off and stretches. She can't believe her eyes. Who are you? I am who I am. Attempting to poke him with her scalpel, he pushes it away, causing her to drop it. Noli me tangere, baby. The phrase spoken by Jesus to Marty Magdalene in John 20:17.
Wow.
She bends to pick it up, trying to keep an eye on the dead man standing before her, but she nicks herself with the knife. When she looks back up, he's gone. She finds him lying back on the autopsy table as if nothing has happened. Did she just hallucinate that whole thing?
Yeah.
Later on, Mulder comes in. She's completed the autopsy. She found red wine and strychnine in his system. Mulder surmises communion wine. O'Fallon poisoned him. They could get a warrant. Quick cut to the agents arriving to Mass in session. The giant church has few attendants on this weekday afternoon, and O'Fallon's voice echoes with authority through the empty space. Scully wants to wait until the sermon is done to afford O'Fallon some dignity in his arrest. They head up the side of the pews, quietly looking at the religious art, and O'Fallon locks eyes with Mulder as he leans up against one of the granite pillars. Scully heads to a large crucifix, kneels and crosses herself to pray. When she looks back at it, she is shocked to see Hoffman's face in the place of Jesus's. He turns to her and says, "Consummatum est," the final words spoken by Jesus on the cross. Disturbed, she heads back to Mulder and chooses to proceed with the arrest immediately. The two agents head to O'Fallon in the middle of his sermon and place him under arrest. As they read him his rights, Scully sees the large, ornate doors of the church swing open, a bright light. The silhouette of a man approaching. It's Micah Hoffman. All three of them recognize him. This doesn't bode well, Andrew.
All right. Well, listen, before we play your clip, which is going to be a banger, couple of things here. First is the trope of Scully dropping something.
Of course.
Wouldn't be a show unless she dropped something in order to break the scene. I half expected the...
Tell you what, though, at least he made contact with her to make her drop something.
True.
Not like the Nephilim, you just see his hand come in and swat the keys out of her hand by her car door.
Yeah, 100% your keys. But Yeah, I don't understand that this scene and then the scene of Micah being alive on the cross. I mean, I would almost, I don't know, maybe I'm, Mike, maybe I'm overthinking it. But I would almost wonder if when she and Mulder and Fetterman were first in Hoffman's apartment and she smelled that ink or the substance which is designed to age the religious texts, maybe it's the source of hallucinations that she gets. But I'm trying to find a reason for why this is happening, and then I'm trying to find the significance for what it means to the plot. Because as far as I can tell, it doesn't mean anything. Like, great, you have these visions. Great that it kind of ultimately motivates you to go and do the rest of O'Fallon. But it feels to me like a case of Duchovny writing a scene to be cool rather than, again, connective tissue. I don't understand what it does for the plot.
I don't think it does anything. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm saying that, I'm sorry, David, I know you're listening. I'm saying...
I'm sorry. What were we saying? It's a great episode. Love it.
Here's what I always attributed it to. And this is probably me just giving it credit when it doesn't deserve that, or maybe it's just this is what the X-Files does. Usually in the religious episodes or the emotional episodes, Scully begins seeing things or having things happen to her emotionally.
Yeah.
I can definitely see her being in this case and having feelings brought up that are maybe pushing her head to believe that this could be real, which is why she asks Mulder later on, do you think this is at all possible? Maybe she's struggling with that, but because it's a lighthearted episode, they don't really dwell on that.
It's such a throwaway, though. Like, she doesn't really think that. There's not enough there in order for her to come to a point of, shit, maybe Micah Hoffman's the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. I mean, I suppose he does come back from the dead with zero explanation, so yeah, maybe. But
there wasn't enough reason for her to love Emily, but she did that.
if we're cutting straws, sure, all right. But yeah, okay. We have the resurrection of Micah Hoffman, which I'll have a problem with later. So I will just tamp it all down and let you continue. Oh, and you were going to have a scene.
No, it's my scene.
Yeah, right. It's on me. Okay, here we go. Jeez, Mike, taking all the time. I don't know why you held us up here.
Misidentification of a corpse and subsequent unrequested autopsy.
Sir, the dead man looked very much like Micah Hoffman. He had Hoffman's ID on him.
Agent Scully, if I'm carrying Marilyn Monroe's purse, do you assume that I slept with JFK? Agent Mulder, the FBI has always prided itself in the speedy expedition of its cases, but this is the first time, and I hope you're as proud of this as I am, that we've ever attempted to pursue a murder case where the victim was still alive and healthy.
A bomb went off, a crime's been committed, there's a dead body nobody seems to give a damn about. O'Fallon's been less than forthcoming, and Hoffman, at the very least, is guilty of forgery and extortion.
Agent Mulder, you will leave O'Fallon alone. You will leave Hoffman alone, and Agent Scully, you'll put your trigger-happy scalpel away. Best case scenario, you get to keep your jobs. Worst case, O'Fallon and the church bring a huge, embarrassing lawsuit against the Bureau, which will feature you two as its sacrificial lambs. As of right now, I'm forcing you to take a 4-week leave, effective immediately, pending review.
I think this whole Richard Gere thing is going to Skinner's head.
They head to Mulder's office, defeated, and Burks introduces himself from the back. He's got the bowl, doing more tests. This time with speakers so everyone can hear. They hear someone speaking gently through the haze. It's a dead language, Aramaic, the language Jesus spoke. A linguist translated it, although Beatles lyrics are the last thing anyone expected to hear. I am the walrus, Paul is dead, cuckoo, cuckoo. The second part, however, is more interesting. It appears to be a man commanding someone else to rise from the dead. We fade back to Hoffman's studio, a picture of Jesus kissing Marty, while the camera pans to Hoffman.
I am become Jesus Christ.
The agents are there to get his side of the story while they sit in beanbags. He lays it all out. He was bumming after Altamont. He was faced with the decision to throw in the towel or continue the fight and become a forger of scandalous religious documents. He knew O'Fallon from college. He was a professor, but he felt he had a pride and a sense of responsibility. He believed in God, but not in man's ability to choose freedom. Hoffman created a Christ that resembled his own particular worldview. In order to create the documents, he had to know Jesus, to become him in much the same way an actor prepares for a role. He had to know the customs of the times, the church and the teachings, the man, the language. When Scully asks why O'Fallon didn't go outside the church to authenticate the forgeries, Hoffman answers they were too damning to the church. They couldn't risk the exposure. He then says it's then that something truly weird came over him. She chimes in, remorse? No, conversion. The lightning bolt that transformed Saul to Paul on the road to Damascus. He was no longer just impersonating Jesus, he had become him. He then blew up the crypt. The forgeries were too blasphemous and had to be destroyed. Mueller asks how his phone got on the corpse in the crypt, and, well, God works in mysterious ways. I'll tell you, it's a throwaway line, but it is essentially how I feel that phrase is used in real life. So I'm actually okay with that here.
I'm glad for you for being okay with that.
I'm glad with you.
I think they ran out of road and they needed to just move on. And this was David Duchovny's way of ending the scene with a punchline, and then getting to go on. But doesn't work for me. I don't know. It's just so. Again, they have
dropped his phone when he bombed the crypt.
Yeah,
is that so hard to believe?
It was the dead guy. Ask Emily who the dead guy
question.
is. Emily has joined us.
I don't know who the dead guy
Emily's
is.
got all the answers to this one. I certainly
don't
do
know.
not.
Well, you're just going to have to accept that Hoffman bombed the crypt and dropped his phone on some dead guy who apparently has been there for a while. He looks pretty rough.
Looks exactly like Micah Kaufman, too. So,
well, we cut to Mueller's apartment. He lies on the couch reciting lines from the movie on his television. It's Plan 9 from outer space, and Scully comes in unexpectedly.
It's an interesting thing when you consider the Earth people who can think.
So frightened by those who cannot. Dead.
Couldn't sleep either, huh?
Well, our ship should be rejected.
Plan 9 from outer space?
Yeah. It's the Ed Wood investigative method. This movie is so profoundly bad in such a childlike way that it hypnotizes my conscious critical mind and frees up my right brain to make socio-poetic leaps. And I started flashing on Hoffman and O'Fallon. How there's this archetypal relationship, like Hoffman's Jesus to O'Fallon's Judas, or Hoffman's Jesus to O'Fallon's Dostoevsky's Grand Inquisitor, or Hoffman's Jesus to O'Fallon's St. Paul.
How about Hoffman's Roadrunner to O'Fallon's Wile E. Coyote? Mulder.
Yeah.
Do you think it's at all possible that Hoffman is really Jesus Christ?
Are you making fun of me?
No.
Well, no, I don't. But crazy people can be very persuasive.
Well, yes, I know that. Maybe true faith is really a form of insanity.
Are you directing that at me?
No. I'm directing it at myself and at Ed Wood.
Well, you know, even a broken clock is right 730 times a year.
How?
42.
You've seen this movie 42 times?
Can't afford to take any chances.
Doesn't that make you sad? It makes me sad.
You ever been to Hollywood? Oh, a couple of times, a few years ago. You're going to be there in the morning. Just a few minutes from Hollywood, in the town of San Fernando. Reports have come in of saucers flying so low the exhaust...
You know, Scully, we've got 4 weeks probation vacation and nothing to do, and Wayne Fetterman's invited us out to L.A. to watch his movie being filmed, and God knows I could use a little sunshine. Scully.
California, here we come.
Oh boy, Andrew, oh boy.
Yes.
You ever seen Plan 9 from outer space?
I have not seen it.
What?
I have not. I had the pleasure, but I guess I'll have to now.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You know what? I'm thinking about Skinner's scene there, his opportunity for Mitch Pileggi to go off on the agents, which we haven't had for a while. Haven't had a good blow up for a while.
Not for a while.
I both like it and dislike it. A, because I don't think the agents were that offside in this case. Like,
no, I don't think they deserve 4 weeks leave.
And these veiled threats to, that they're going to lose their jobs. But I mean, I know it serves a purpose. They need to go on probation or whatever. They need to go on leave so that they can then go off to Hollywood. So that has to happen. And we need to have the blow up from Skinner's so they can have the makeup later, I suppose. But
right.
I don't know. I feel like many things to me in this episode. I feel like it's a little weak. I don't know.
You know what, Andrew?
I know.
All right. We're just going to continue.
You don't even have to comment. I am just airing my grievances for the record.
Well, I'm glad I'm not alone in hearing this live. Ironically, this blasphemous critique of this episode, but that's okay.
I'm sorry. Is it blasphemous to critique this episode? Is that what you're saying? Is it going to be one of your tops at the end of the season?
I honestly don't know. I haven't picked yet.
I also have not picked yet.
I have to really think about it.
I know.
When are you going to do that poll, by the way?
Yes, the poll. I will be posting the poll tonight. Or maybe
tonight.
Or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see when I damn well feel. You know what? I'll post it right after you post the next solicitation for comments on episodes. That's when I'll post it.
Hey, I got one up for this, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will.
You obviously don't pay attention to our Facebook.
I
so
do.
Why do we expect our fans to pay attention to it if you don't?
Boy, Mike gets a cold and he gets cranky. My goodness.
God damn it, Andrew.
Yes, we're still
all right.
All right, where are we going now? We're going to California. Hooray
fading
for Hollywood.
To the agents walking down Hollywood backlot, stage 8, 20th Century Fox, set full of trees, tombstones, and lights. People milling about doing their jobs. Fetterman meets them and brings them over to the two stars, Shandling and Taya Leone. Taya would love to pick Scully's brain on how to run in heels. She's having the hardest time. As the two begin to walk away, the camera curls around Shandling and Mulder, keeping the women in frame. As the men begin talking, we see Scully get into place, turn, and walk out of frame right as the stunt woman comes in, dressed just like her, who begins running.
Wait, that's not Gillian Anderson running?
That's not. It's so funny.
That is one of my favorite parts of this episode, actually, is the background action of Scully running back and forth in high heels.
You know me and background humor.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Jim Abrams and Airplane and Hot Shots and all that shit.
Yeah, good stuff.
Fantastic humor. Meanwhile, Shandling is more interested in Mulder's sense of being. Does he dress to the left or the right? He wants to find his center, because everything else comes from that. Awkwardly, Mulder says, I guess mostly to the left. They share an awkward pause and Shandling's wheels turn. He then calls for wardrobe and walks off.
He needs to have a costume refitting so that his schlong can be in the right place for the character.
Later on, filming a scene, the director calls action. A zombie attacks Taya Leone's Scully and she screams. But something's wrong. The zombie spits out the meat. What is this? They call cut and the zombie yells to the assistant with the megaphone. Turns out Taya Leone's shoulder is made of turkey, as requested. But this doesn't sit well. He asks for tofurkey. He's a vegetarian, and half the zombies are vegetarians. He proceeds to have a meltdown, running off set and screaming to the other extras about the betrayal as the agents and small audience look on in awe. Later that evening, Scully's on the phone in a bubble bath, sipping champagne. She's on the phone with Mulder, and they ask what each other's doing. He claims working at the computer, while she claims she's packing. The screen wipes halfway to reveal Mulder as well, in his bathtub, taking his own bubble bath. He's been thinking about Lazarus, Ed Wood, and the tofurkey eating zombies. Why do people come back from the dead and only want to hurt the living? She rationalizes the stories. Zombies and ghosts are just projections of our own repressed cannibalistic and sexual fears. Mulder, he has a new theory. When zombies try to eat people, that's just the first stage. They come back from being dead, so they're going to do the things they missed out on. They're going to eat, drink, then dance and make love. She chuckles. We're just not with them long enough to see their gentler side. Mulder's line clicks and he switches. It's Skinner who wants to apologize for coming down on them so hard. Mulder tries on the nickname Skin Man, but he gets shut down immediately. Skinner's open about what he's doing. He's staying at the same hotel, and he's in his own bubble bath. Wayne got him a producer's credit on the film, and he's enjoying his night. Mulder attempts to switch lines back to Scully to have a laugh at their boss taking a bubble bath, but of course, it's unsuccessful. The scene ends with Scully telling Mulder Taya has a thing for him, and maybe Shandling as well. We go all the way back to the beginning, 16 months later.
I love you, Scully.
The agents are making out in the coffin, on screen, in the theater. As she protests her love for Assistant Director Skinner, who has a bigger flashlight, Mulder gets up, letting out a protest to Scully. Can't take this anymore. He storms off to an audience laughing at the corny jokes. Scully locks eyes with Skinner, who's smiling giddily as his date kisses his cheek. On the set, Mulder sits alone in the graveyard eating popcorn from his collector's Lazarus popcorn tub. Scully comes in, having been looking for him. She got a page. Michael Hoffman was murdered in his home by O'Fallon, who then killed himself. Jesus and Judas. What seems like the end of that is actually the beginning, Mulder says. He speaks of them as two complicated people with lives, and now they'll be remembered as jokes because of this awful movie. It's pretty silly. And how are we going to be remembered, he asks. Scully hopes the movie will tank. He gets wistful. What about all the dead people who can't tell their stories anymore? We have to rely on Hollywood to show the future how we lived, and it'll become oversimplified, trivialized, and cigarette-smoking pontificized. Almost got that wrong. As cheap as this plastic Lazarus bowl. She thinks dead people are beyond caring what people think of them. She feels the need to clarify that Mulder does know this is just a movie set and no dead people are here. But the dead are everywhere. Breaking the mood, she waves the credit card in front of him. Skinner was so tickled by the movie, he has given them his card to use however they want for the night. The two laugh and walk off, and Mulder dumps his popcorn bowl onto the head of a stone statue. As they cross the green screen out of frame, the camera lingers. Beings then fade in. Zombies rising from graves to the music of Buena Vista Social Club's Pueblo Nuevo, an Afro-Cuban jazz track. The zombies are dressed in older socialite garb. They all begin dancing with each other to the cha-cha of the song's rhythm, kissing passionately as the large green screen turns into a starry moonlit night. The camera pulls back to reveal the large room littered with zombies dancing gracefully to the backdrop, the warehouse of the studio around them. Credits.
Wow.
All right, Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, Mike. A couple just logistical notes before I jump into final thoughts. That dance party took 2 days to film, and unfortunately we get like 20, 25 seconds of it.
Yeah, it's not the longest scene, but it sells the point.
I think it does, and it's nice that it's set up by Mulder. You know, at the beginning of the show, and
yes.
then the bubble bath, which is a great scene. I will give them credit for that. A little gag of they're all in bubble bath and they won't admit it, but then Skinner just up and admits it. Nice work there. I like that. I'm going to say, the other point there is the point by David Duchovny of futurist societies looking to movies as a form of history. This harkens back to your comment that he is a very intelligent writer, and I like that he dropped this tidbit in there. This is a classic note, the idea that this particular movie is going to be some kind of cultural relic, and Scully coming back and saying, well, I hope it tanks, I hope that it's not popular.
Right.
It's perfect for the point. So, did you want to have my final thoughts at this point, or do you think
I would like to know.
Yeah. Okay.
Despite what you've been saying.
All right. Well, by this point in the series, the episodes are starting to feel like a swan song. Some final kicks to the can before the lights go out on the dramatic series finale. We got some fan service, a lot of self-referential humor, some good gags. But if you look at this episode with the same parameters that you judge your favorite episodes with, well, this one comes up a bit short. There are more than a few plot holes, at least according to me, that the script sails right by, the least of which is the death and resurrection of Micah Hoffman. There's a fascinating story right there that's trivialized with the adjoining Hollywood plotline, though I'll give them some credit for illustrating the point that Duchovny makes in his final monologue. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. I won't say that there isn't, but on the whole, I feel it's a lot of interesting scenes that kind of blend together to make something cool, but it loses me a lot of points. And I don't know. That's just me. I'm sure you're going to tell us how much this episode resonated with you.
That's fine. That's fine. I know how you like to suck the fun out of everything.
Everything needs to be black and
everything.
white. Yeah.
No, and you actually use the same term I used, swan song of David Duchovny. He wrote and directed the episode. He created something I think is pretty unique to the show. It's just a very self-referential piece. I know they've done that before with poking fun at what the X-Files are within the episode, but this one feels a little bit more on the nose, kind of what the show's become. And it does seem like this could be a send-off for the show. By the end, it feels like the end of the X-Files. The agents are walking off set after their characters and stories have been bastardized by the Hollywood machine. In many ways, it feels like the end of the show. Where do you go from something like this? And it could have served as a very interesting series finale. I just got to thinking about that. It would not have been the grand mythology series finale, but I think something like this, it's because David was leaving the show. I refuse to believe that they didn't decide before this that they were going to continue with the show, like AI suggested at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah. Although remember, a lot of these episodes are in the can before they get released. So
that's true. I just feel like, I don't know, David Duchovny's writing here, it's for him, I think. He's definitely, this is the final curtain on his character. And it very much feels that way. But at the same time, I feel like it could serve as like a faux series finale. And I like it. I think it's fun. It's enjoyable. Good jokes, good writing. And I don't get lost in the weeds. Unlike some people.
Well, you probably have a nice bowl of Lazarus Bowl popcorn at your side when you're watching.
You make me feel... I'm going to start crying, Andrew. You make me feel so stupid. Because I'm not...
I also think that
not picking things apart.
When you were evaluating this episode, you're not at your most... You're not your best. You're laden down... laid low with a cold. So I think it's totally fine that you just saw the obvious stuff, the really straightforward notes. And that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I enjoy the episode.
Yeah.
I actually saw it when it aired. It was one of the few episodes my parents and I all watched together. Really funny. It really drew them in, and it's a really good memory for that reason alone. They really enjoyed Gary Shandling making a presence there, and because it was such an unusual X-Files episode, they really enjoyed it. So good time. I'm just going to leave that theory that it could just be a fake series closer.
You know what? I wouldn't have minded it if it was the series ender. I think they would have had to pad out a couple of things. There's just too much relationshipy stuff that's not covered, and that is what the fans are looking for some resolution on. Obviously I think that, as you suggest, they had a notion they were going to keep on going by this point. So they didn't need to engineer a script that was going to close everything out. Yeah, it doesn't feel earned to me that they would have ended it on Requiem, because that would have been, as they say, a real pisser. If that was going to be the series finale.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Well, apparently somebody posted on Facebook for comments on this. Do we have listener comments for Hollywood?
We do not.
Oh, okay.
I hate to deflate that before it gets going, but we do not have any comments on this episode.
Well, it's probably because it's such a good episode. There's nothing to say about it. That's probably what it is. Nobody was.
I mean, the world has spoken, Andrew. So,
what did they say?
Well, by not saying anything, they've said everything. It's too good to say anything bad about it, and why keep saying the same thing we're saying that it's good? I'm saying
that is a way to look at it. I accept your cold-laden logic on that one. Sure.
Well, Andrew, I think this episode is done, and because you're the star who gets fan mail,
yes, apparently.
I will give you the last word on this one.
Well, just to say, ladies and gentlemen, careful where you leave your pottery, because if it's sculpted by a very certain someone, it might have unanticipated consequences. So always make sure to leave it just outside of the little twig from a tree that might make it resonate like a record.
Piecing that one together on the way out, were you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilepod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.